Hey, so welcome to the channel. I actually wasn't going to do a video about this. I was just resizing some bullets, and these are bullets I cast a while back, and I was resizing them, and I thought, there might be some of you out there that might be thinking about casting your own bullets. And if you do that, you're going to need a way to resize those bullets. Not every bullet that you cast has to be resized. The only time you're going to have to resize a bullet is if you insert it into your case and it expands the mouth of the case. And if that occurs, you're going to have to find a way to squeeze the bullet diameter down just a little bit. And so that's what resizing is. That's all you're doing. But there are several methods out there, and I thought, maybe we should talk about those so you can decide which method is right for you. And I'll demonstrate one method you can use that you do right on your press. So why don't we go ahead and get started. And so let me briefly just go over the methods that are available to you, and you can look them up on YouTube and online, and I'm sure you'll find plenty of information on it. One of the methods, it's called a lube-a-sizer, and it's a specialized press that will lubricate and size the bullet at the same time. I'll put a picture up of one of them just so you can see what it looks like. And the way it operates is you would take your cast bullet and you'd place it into the press, and then it's pushed down into the lower part of the press, and you crank this other little handle a little bit, and that forces lubrication into the bullet grooves. I don't know if you saw that, but there are grooves on these bullets. And depending on the bullets, the grooves can be wider. In this case, they're a little tighter together, but it actually will force the lubrication right into the grooves there. That bullet lube comes in a stick. So that's one method you can look into if you're looking to get into casting. So the other method that you can use to resize your bullets uses your reloading press. And I'll just talk about two different companies here. One of them is a company called NOE Bullet Molds, and I'll put up their die system, their die and bushing system. And the way it works is that the die is used to hold a bushing of a specific size. So if you're resizing your bullets to 356, for example, you purchase the bushing that has the diameter of 356. You then insert that bushing into the die, and then you insert both the bushing and the die into your press, and you can resize your bullets on your press that way. Elite Precision also offers a system that's similar to the NOE system that uses bushings. I'll put a picture of that up so you can see what this looks like. And Lee doesn't refer to them as bushings, they refer to them as sizers. And the way this system works is you take these bushings, you're going to put it into this bottle system. And the bushing is seated down towards the bottom of the bottle where you see that metal part. The only thing I'll say about this is that you have to have a press that accepts breech lock bushings. But Lee also sells this conversion kit where you can just place this adapter into your press and allow you to use breech lock bushings. And then there's this other system that Lee puts out, which I'm going to demonstrate later on in the video. And the way it works is it uses a die with a set diameter. So what that means is if you want to size something to a diameter of 356, you're going to get the die that has the diameter of 356. And this works the same way. It screws right into your press, and you can resize your bullets right on your press. I went with this system because I just thought this system was easier for me. Both this system and the NOE system I discussed have methods you can use to lubricate your bullets, because when you cast, you do have to lubricate them in some way, and there are different methods. But I'll be showing you a method that Lee recommends in the instructions that come with this die, but it's a method that you can use no matter how you size your bullets. Okay, so now you're probably asking yourself, why choose one system over the other? What do these systems do that are so different? They seem to do the same exact thing, just in a little different way. So let's discuss that. And I'm going to use an example just as a way to kind of explain this more clearly. Let's talk about 9mm. The typical cast bullet sizes for 9mm are 356, 357, and 358. Those are the typical sizes. If you go to Lee's website, for example, and you look at their bullet sizing dies, you'll find bullet sizing dies in those sizes, 356, 357, and 358. They won't offer anything like a thousandths of an inch lower or higher than that. So in other words, they're not going to offer 355, and they're not going to offer 359. However, if you look at their bushing system, and NOE, it's the same for them as well. If you look at their bushing system as well, they offer sizes that are outside typical ranges. So just using 9mm as an example, and I'm not advocating this, if for some reason you were looking to size your boards to 355, you'll find a bushing from Lee or NOE and probably other companies that have 355. They also offer 354, 353, and so on, all the way down. And the opposite is true. If you want to go above the typical higher end of 358, you want to try 359, you'll find the bushing for that. You'll also find one for 360 and 361 and all the way up and that end of the scale too. And again, I'm not advocating that for 9mm. I'm just pointing out this point here, which I'm going to make, which is bullet sizing systems that use bushings offer a variety of different sizes that you're not going to find in bullet sizing dies. Okay, so now you're asking, why would that matter? Why would I even want that flexibility? And so it really comes down to what you're trying to do. So for example, there are people that like to cast and they're trying to fine tune their bullet to their firearm the same way that you're trying to fine tune your loads to your firearm when you reload. They're just taking it to the next step. So now they want to try to have that flexibility. They want to experiment. They want to see if they go 1,000ths or 2,000ths up or down in their particular firearm, is it going to work better for them? Is it going to give them better accuracy, a more consistent accuracy? Is it going to lead their barrel? They want to experiment with that. Okay, so if you're one of those people that you think you're going to do that, then a bushing system would probably be the system for you. Another reason for the bushing system you may want to consider is if you're getting into casting because you can't find bullets for a gun that you own, and so you're casting for it. If you go with a bushing system, you'll be able to fine tune your bullet for that firearm. Okay, you may not be able to find what you want in a bullet sizing die. That's something you'd have to look into. This is just something for you to consider. So a bushing system may be the direction to go in that. The other argument I've seen made, and I don't know if this is true, is that over the long term, people have said that a bushing system will cost less than a die system. Other people have argued that that's only true if you're casting for several different calibers. Again, you have to look into that. I don't know if that is true or not, but it's something to keep in mind if cost is a consideration for you. So while both systems will resize your bullets, a bushing system gives you more flexibility than you would get with just a die system in most cases. So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So let me open this kit up and show you what comes inside. Okay, so the interesting thing about this kit is that the parts, they're basically 3 components. You have your instructions and then 2 metal parts in here, which I'll show you. But it all comes contained in this canister, which is actually part of the kit. You're actually going to use this canister when you size your bullets. And I'll show you how that works when we go over to the press. But for now, let me show you what's inside here. So if we open this up, it comes with a nice set of instructions. Lee does a very good job with their instruction sheets. Goes into the lubrication method that's going to be used, which I'll show you. And then it shows you about how to set this die up and use it to size your bullets, right? And pictures, black and white pictures are used so you can see everything. And you have your resizing die, and every die is going to be a different diameter. So this one is for 356, and also what comes with it is this metal stem here, which will be used to actually push the bullets up into the die to size them. And as I said, the other part of this is the actual container. Okay, so before we actually start to resize the bullets, we have to lubricate them first. So I'm going to use the method that they suggest to use in the instructions that come with the resizing die. Lee makes a lubrication called liquid Alox, and this is a very easy method to lubricate your bullets. All you need is some sort of plastic container. I'm using a Cool Whip container. And all you have to do is take your bullets, okay, and I'm just going to do a couple of these for you because I've already lubed this in the past. If you read the instructions on the bottle, it says use a very light coat. You don't have to use much of this. A little goes a long way. And all you do is you just drop a little bit. And I'm only going to put one drop in because there's so few bullets. And I know that seems like a very little bit, and what could that possibly do? But that's more than enough. What we're doing is just coating it. Okay, it doesn't take long at all, just a couple seconds really, and they're coated. So the next step would be you would take these and you put down a piece of wax paper. Again, this is all in the instructions. And you dump the bullets on there and you let them dry overnight. That's all there is to it. Some people have complained that the bullets have an oily feel to it. I'm not of that opinion. I could feel waxy coating on here, but it's not liquid. Okay, it's not like it's an oily mess. Maybe some people put way too much on. You don't have to put a lot on there. You know, when you use this, the first time I used it, I'm like, did I coat all the bullets? But I dumped them out on the sheet. I used very little. And 253 bullets. And I might have put 5 or 6 drops. Your bullets are ready to be resized. So why don't we go over to the press and I'll set up the die and show you how to actually resize the bullets. Hey, I hope you're finding this video helpful. Would you consider maybe giving this video a thumbs up and even subscribing to the channel? As you know, YouTube doesn't look too kindly on channels like this one, and we can use all the support we can get to help ensure that others can find this video in the future. So if you would just take a moment, like it, subscribe, and I really do appreciate your support and thank you for watching this video. And let's get back to resizing those bullets. Okay, so let me show you how to set up the die to resize some bullets. So I'm using a Lee classic turret press to show you this, but the die will work on any press that uses standard threads. So what you need to do is insert this die into the turret or into your single stage press. Now, if you're using a turret, if you want to use this container, you're going to need to move these dies because the container won't fit on top of the press. You don't have to use the container. I'll show you what I mean later. This turret is a Lee turret. I think it's $5 now or $6. They're not very expensive. So I just find it easier for me. Instead of me backing out all my dies, and even though they have lock rings and all I have to do is just tighten them down again and everything will be set where I need them, I just find it more convenient removing the turret. Put the other turret in place. Just put the die into the press and just tighten it in. You don't even have to tighten the lock ring down. It doesn't matter. Just hand tighten it and you'll be fine. The next thing we have to do is remove the shell holder from the press and insert the stem that comes with the kit that I showed you earlier. And that's this part here. Okay, so I've repositioned the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. So the stem just goes right in here where the shell holder was. All right, so I'm going to put this container right here on top. All right, and we're pretty much set to go now. So let's start resizing some bullets. As you take one of your bullets and place it on top of the stem, right, like that, and just pull the handle and it's going to go up into the die. It doesn't take much force at all to do this. You're probably saying, I don't see the bullets coming out. Was this some sort of magic trick, some sort of wizardry? Where are these bullets going? They're actually in this die. Probably by the 4th bullet here, you start to see them come out the top, the die through this container. So there it is right there. And so you're going to continue to do this. We just take the container off, and if we turn this over, they're resized and ready to go. If you see, there's a bullet sticking out right here, okay? And there are a couple inside the die. They've gone through and they're resized already. They just haven't been pushed up and out into the container. So it's not as though the ones inside this die have not been resized. They've been resized. Give this a little tap and they come out. You can do this without the container. All you would do is, after this, when this bullet comes up, you'll see, you just grab. Now I'm going to be grabbing every bullet that comes up and out. All right, because you don't want them to go onto the floor. So if you don't want to use the container, you don't want to remove all the dies off your press, you just maybe want to remove your resizing die or what have you, You can do it without using the container. It will work just fine. There's just one other thing. The instructions say once you resize them, you should lubricate them again. And the reason why is because it will take some of the lubrication off the bullet when you run it through during the resizing process. So, again, to recap, you're casting your bullets, you're lubing your bullets with liquid A-LOX, you're putting them on wax paper, you're letting them dry overnight, you're running them through your resizing die, you're lubricating them again, you let them dry overnight, and you're ready to load them up and go to the range with them. So that's all there is to it. If you have any questions about anything you've seen today, please drop a comment below. And if you currently resize your bullets and lube your bullets, tell us about the method you use and why you chose that method. Until next time, remember, stay safe in your reloading and safe shooting.